Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the DomainCast. This is part 2 of our E3 coverage, covering all the biggest news out of the first several days of conferences and pressers. We covered Microsoft and Ubisoft and a few other companies in the last one, so go ahead and check that out if you missed it. Today we're going to be talking about Sony and Nintendo's releases or announcements. Again, it's just me, just another solo podcast, just trying to get you guys a brief recap of what all went down over the last 2 days of the press conferences. Let's start with Nintendo. Kind of some quick hit items here. Fortnite is now out and downloadable for free on the Switch, and you can play with your friends or enemies on iOS, Xbox, and PC, but still not PS4. They're apart from the rest. There's a new title called Daemon Ex Machina that is like kind of a fun, upgradable mech suit style game that's due out next year. Looks pretty good. I'm a big fan of mech, like kind of like Mech Assault, if you guys remember that game. That's a good game. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee got the official announced date that they'll be out on November 19th. About a month before that, Super Mario Party is out on October 5th, which, if you haven't played any of the Super Mario or any of the Mario Party or WarioWare games, find them, play them with friends, and your choice of caffeine or adult beverages, because they're a blast, and I can't wait to see what they do with it on the Switch. They also announced the Nintendo Switch Online, they didn't announce it, but they kind of fleshed it out a little bit more. If you're not aware, it's basically kind of actually an affordable online game service similar to PlayStation Network or Xbox Online or Xbox Live. You get special deals and it enables online play, but all that's been covered. At E3, they announced that there's now cloud saves. So now your saves on your Switch are not tied to your Switch. You can get them somewhere else. So kind of some quick hit items. And then the big item, the item that I'm most excited about, I think the item that most people are most excited about, if I can speak for most people. Maybe it's just me. But Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So again, I love Super Smash Bros. It's a game that I have played with my friends for, I guess, technically decades at this point. I fell in love with it the first time I saw the commercial where the Nintendo characters were smashing each other, and punching each other, drop-kicking each other. Here we are with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and the big news, the big item, is that every character, yes, every single character to have ever appeared in any of the Super Smash Bros. Installments is in this game. I forgot to double check, but I think it's like 60-some characters, which is awesome. I mean, you don't have to be like, well, it'd be really cool to see this person fight that person, because now you can. They're all in there. Kirby's in there, and that's really all you need to know, but yeah, there's also 59 or more, whatever, other characters. Some new characters such as Inkling make an appearance from Splatoon. There's 8 variations with their own colors, which they in the trailer they kind of had several of the Inklings fighting each other, and it looks like the most insane match of paintball you've ever seen. I think that could be quite a fun play style. The other kind of like the twist that I was not expecting is that GameCube controllers will be compatible with it. So if you really fell in love with Smash Brothers on the GameCube, which, I mean, to me is kind of like where I really got into it, now you can play the way you learned. It's due out December 7th of 2018, so just in time for Christmas. And really, if you're really into Smash Brothers, you should watch the full breakdown. But basically, they're pulling out all the stops in this version of Smash Brothers. It's gonna have the most characters, the most playable levels, and then at the end there was a really interesting twist. Ridley, Samus's Nemesis, is in the game, and I guess I didn't know this because I'm not a huge Metroid Prime fan, but I guess that's been like a really in-demand character since forever. So kind of a fun twist at the end. Sorry if I spoiled the trailer for you, but if you're into Smash Brothers, go check it out. It's pretty exciting. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Sony, which Sony kind of came in with, like, it felt like they had a comfortable lead over Microsoft, and they knew it. And, you know, I didn't know if I was the only one, so I kind of had to, check online. And there's a lot of criticism, that people felt like maybe they let their foot off the gas. They kind of coasted into E3 this year because they know that they're the dominant console right now. But they got their act together. It was a weird, like, set of releases or announcements from PlayStation, but not bad. So, kind of, I'll start with the quick hit stuff again, and then I'll move into the full kind of in-depth stuff, such as it is. But there was a trailer for Kojima's newest game called Death Stranding, which, I mean, I watched that trailer twice, and I really don't know what the game is about. The first half of the trailer shows what I think is the most extreme FedEx delivery guy ever, and then it gets weirder from there. So I know I've said, like, you should watch these things if you're really interested, but you should watch this even if you're not interested in Kojima games, because I would love to see fan theories on what the game is about and see who gets it closest. It's bizarre. There was a long-form Spider-Man trailer for the new game that's coming out. It felt very Batman, like Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum, those kind of games, which not necessarily a knock. I'll be curious to see if they can execute it as well as the Batman games did. They announced that they're going to be making a Resident Evil 2 remake, and there's a new game called, and I apologize, but Ghosts of Tsushima, which is like a kind of a fast-paced looking samurai game, which could be a lot of fun. And then, what do I do next? Let's talk about The Last of Us 2, which the trailer was, I believe, what many people would call like dark or evocative. I'm going to say the two words that describe it best are crunchy and squishy, but also dark and evocative. I'll give them that. It was a very visceral video with lots of bone-crunching hits and gurgling blood and rain. And if you played the first Last of Us, Part 2 seems like it's going to be like more of the same, but like turned up. Like really everything up to 11 and then breaking the knob off. It was a really pretty enticing trailer, and if the gameplay is that smooth, it could be very enjoyable. Okay. Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay. I'm not here to judge. I have never been a Kingdom Hearts fan. I had a friend who tried to get me into it a while ago. Like the first one, when the first one came out, and I say a while ago because I know I don't want to date myself, but it was a while ago. And I was just like, why is like Donald Duck fighting with a sword? And I just couldn't get my head around it. I never got into it, but I don't want to take it away from anybody who is into it, because by all accounts, it's a great franchise and people love it. So, with that being said, Kingdom Hearts 3 will be out on January 29th of 2019 on the PS4 and Xbox One. It's been like, what would be like 12 years since Kingdom Hearts 2. So there was a lot of excitement for this, and finally getting a release date on it is a pretty big deal. And if you are like me and never played, but you want to get into it because you hear like the story is really worth it, every game that they've had out is available in some form or another on PS4. And I believe, I'm trying to remember now, I believe some of the games, like kind of the side games or the spin-off games, are available in like a video form. So you can kind of get like the quick hit points so that you can come into Kingdom Hearts 3 ready to rock. It was a fitting... I watched the trailer, and, you know, I thought it was kind of nonsensical before, but if you watch the trailer for this, I was lost. It was on par with Kojima. So again, Sony had a bizarre week, but a pretty exciting one, and I'm certainly intrigued by what they offered. So, I'm going to wrap this up because I promised kind of a quick hit breakdown. But let me know in the comments what you guys are most excited about, what came out of E3 that you're excited about or disappointed in, or you were hoping to learn more, or you didn't see it coming at all and it just blew you away. I, for one, will just say that I'm super excited about Smash Brothers, but it wasn't really shocked. I knew it was coming. And I am really curious to see what happens with Kojima's Death Stranding, because I'm a big fan. So, happy E3 week. I hope this podcast, though brief, helped you get caught up on some of the big marquee items. Obviously, we didn't dive into all the little minutia and smaller announcements, and some things that you guys might really be excited about. So if there's anything that you think people should know about and you want to shout it from the mountaintops, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you're excited about, what you're disappointed in. If you like the video, hit like and subscribe. Feel free to check out some of our other videos on Game Domain or our sister channel, Game Domain News, which kind of tends to focus more on current events. As always, thank you guys so much for watching Game Domain, and have a great weekend.